So Jamal Niaz here with Eddie Hearn after an interesting night in Liverpool. Not the ideal end to the co-main event, but Pacheco was utterly destructive in the main event. So what do you make of the whole card?
Yeah, lots of talking points. I mean, a couple of good fights, a couple of great fights, a couple of average fights, some weird fights. The crowning of, I think, one of the best prospects in world boxing in Diego Pacheco. But where do we start? Start with Diego. You know, I mean, no one's really done that to Jack Cullen, gone in there and just taken his time and just really had it his own way. Jack's a great fighter, always been, you know, a great part of our shows. But you just saw a guy that was super composed, you know, all week. Press conferences, you know, being headlining the show, 22 years of age, just took it all in his stride. I thought it was a great performance, great punch selection, and really good performance. Robbie Davis, I mean, I would have loved to see that fight progress after the knockdown in the second round. Was an absolute sickening injury. I mean, basically, his leg just snapped, his ankle snapped. I mean, you saw it, you know, that's the kind of injury that you see in the football matches and stuff like that. And I'm pleased for Daryl Foley, but gutted for Robbie. Peter McGrail, good performance, you know, against a tough opponent who could punch. Johnny Fisher got some good rounds in, and Al Damiani took that right hand. I thought he was going to take his head off his shoulders, but he was actually all right to continue. But I feel like the ref had no choice really but to stop the fight. And great win for Rhiannon Dixon. Paddy Lacey was in a great fight. Aqib Fiaz as well. Campbell Hatton with a good win, and George Lillard as well, making it 2 stoppages on the spin. We had
Taylor Cameron announced for May as well. That kind of sets it up perfectly, if all goes planned for Taylor Serrano at Croke Park later in the year as well. Is that the thought process with that one as well?
I don't think you can look past Chantel Cameron. I think it's a tremendous fight. I think it may even be a tougher fight than Taylor Serrano, in all honesty. I mean, people for many years have been calling for Taylor against Cameron, but I said to Chantel, if you get the belts, if you get, you know, people calling out for that fight, Katie will fight you, and Katie was the one that called this fight on, you know. So I can't wait. May 20th is going to be an incredible night in Dublin, and really excited.
I know you had a meeting with Conor McGregor regarding the whole Katie Taylor situation. Could Conor McGregor be walking out Katie Taylor on that night? Could he be involved with that?
I mean, I'm sure he'll be there. I'm sure he'll be involved because he loves Katie Taylor. You know, he wants to be a part of that event. He's got a number of big brands in Ireland that I'm sure will be back in the event as well. But you know, that night is well overdue for Katie Taylor. She deserves that more than anyone. And I tell you, that is an unbelievable fight. 2 undisputed champions, and it's going to be a hell of a night. Huge card as well that will be announced next week.
What was that meeting with Conor like? It must have been quite an interesting chat. Two of the biggest personalities in combat sports.
It was like doing a Conor McGregor press conference in a pub, just you two. You know, he was the same character. You know, he's an unbelievable promoter. He's a great fighter. He's a hell of a character, and you know, I'm sure he'll be involved in the show.
Fury Usyk as well. The 70-30 split in the favour of Fury has been agreed by the looks of things. What do you make of that, and who do you see coming out as the winner?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's 6 weeks to go or 7 weeks to go till the fight. Tyson Fury says he started camp today. Usyk's called his bluff. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, Tyson's going to have to take money that he never imagined taking for that fight because it's going to be at Wembley. So, but if it, great. I really hope it happens. I guess we'll see.
Ngannou as well. I know you've had some talks with him. Ngannou Wilder, Ngannou Joshua. Those are super fights the fans want to see in boxing. What do you make of those matchups, and could we actually see them?
Yeah, I flew to Vegas recently to have a meeting with Francis, and he's what a story. What a great guy, and you know, he's got aspirations in boxing. The Joshua fight is a massive fight, and it's one that we talked about. Obviously, AJ's got his eyes on Jermaine Franklin, and AJ's got his eyes on trying to become world heavyweight champion again. But you know, we'd love to work with Francis Ngannou, and it was a lovely meeting.
I hope we see it. Final one from me: Jake Paul and Floyd Mayweather. He did a runner, and respect to him. He had about 50 guys on his case outside of the NBA game the other day. Mayweather was making it known that there was unfinished business there. What do you make of it?
I mean, 50 guys. That's like, you know, when you catch a fish, and it's about that big, and you go, oh, I once caught a fish this big. There was probably like 5 or 10 of them, but
he has a big team around him.
Who's that?
Mayweather
yeah, but you can't run. Not on camera. I mean, if there was no cameras, I would have been like Roger Rabbit down there. But the fact is, you can't do it. You've got to stand your ground and take a pasting.
Is that what you would have done? Yeah.
Yes. Because you can't. Once you run like that, it's embarrassing. It's like, you know, the road runner. But he's not a fighter, is he? That's what I'm saying. No fighter in that situation would run away. You've got all security, your own, I mean, but look, it's easy for me to say. I probably actually would have run. But
I 100% would have run as well.
I know you would have.
Right, really appreciate your time, Eddie. Thanks so much. Thank you.